Welcome to Employer Spotlight. Let's get started.
Well, hello, hello. Welcome to an Employer Spotlight. Thank you so much for joining us. For this, we are actually live. We're live on LinkedIn, like on a Spouse First community, live in Jacksonville, live all the way to Illinois, live. Oh, I forgot where we are live, but we're live in so many different communities. And we have a team, Susan and Melissa here to tell us all about their organization. We're here with YPTC, who is well, I'm going to let him tell us what they're all about because I am so excited. They actually build stronger nonprofits. So those of you who are money driven, financial sort of a scouts, or very, very analytical, thinking about a career, where to use your accounting degrees, your love and your passion for for better financial sort of decisions and nonprofit work, then maybe this is the perfect place for you to end up. And we're building a military spouse team, veteran team. I mean, you name it. We welcome everyone who is interested in supporting. But without further ado, let me just go straight to our team and say, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Susan, congratulations. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us. Melissa, do you want to start us off?
Sure, thank you. My name is Melissa Pennypacker. I work on the talent acquisition team of your part-time controller, which I will shorten to YPTC from now on because that's a mouthful. To start, give you a little background on me. I am part of the Philadelphia support team and have been with YPTC for a year and a half now. I love hosting these types of events because I found my career move to YPTC to be so beneficial, and I want to share this great opportunity with others. Susan?
Well, hey, I'm Susan Wagner, and I am an associate, which is the controller part of your part-time controller, YPTC. But I was also an active duty Marine Corps spouse for 16 years. My husband retired about 10 years ago, and I know firsthand that being a military spouse is hard work and that military spouses are awesome. We have just a great culture that would fit military spouses. And I'm just really grateful that the world is beginning to recognize the amazing benefits of employing military spouses. And I want to thank Blue Star Families for allowing us to be here today. So thank you very much, Laura.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, YPTC, for allowing us the opportunity to learn more about you, your opportunities, and most importantly, to helping us, just lead more responsible, financial driven individuals' mindsets to great opportunities within your organization. And I believe we are about to just get to know more about your more in depth into what PTC is all about. But most importantly, I want to remind our community to please post your questions. Tell us where you're watching. We love to be able to send you a shout out, but also we love to be able to get those questions in front of Susan and Melissa at the end of the segment so that you can find out more. And as I always like to always share with you guys, please pay it forward. If this is an opportunity that perhaps you're not yet at this level, but you would like to be, but you know a great community. We all know military spouses within our network who can benefit from incredible opportunities and most importantly, welcoming staff. I mean, Melissa and Susan took the part of the day to come here and enlighten us about their opportunities. So please pay it forward, tag your network, and let them know that this is a great organization that is looking for incredible mindsets like the military spouse. So go ahead, Melissa, tell us, walk us through.
All right. Yes. Thank you, Laura. Let's dig in. So, YPTC started out 3 decades ago with one man providing accounting services for one nonprofit organization, and he was accomplishing that from his kitchen table. Now, you flash forward 30 years later, and we have over 550 accountants and support staff, and they're helping to provide accounting services to over 1,500 clients, 90 to 95% of those still being nonprofits. We have a nationwide presence. We are divided into 12 regions across the country, and we can accomplish all that we do by utilizing our YPTC Anywhere style of business, which gives each staff member the opportunity to work remotely and from client offices nationwide. I attribute the notable growth of YPTC to many factors, but the greatest of them being this simple idea. YPTC's mission is to help nonprofit groups we support fulfill their missions. It is such a simple but rewarding concept. And while the members of YPTC, like myself, are excited to continue on this growth path, we don't want to lose sight of that mission because it's what's fostered the positive and supportive culture that attracted us to YPTC in the first place. So we shared an overview of YPTC. So let's talk a little bit about the colleagues that make our business so successful. Since we are an accounting organization, the main roles we recruit for are accounting related. Our accounting force is made up of two main roles: controllers or associates and staff accountants. Our controllers are responsible for ensuring that the needs of our clients are met and handling the mid to high level responsibilities of each client relationship. And this is done with the support of a manager. Now you see here, these are the characteristics we look for in every controller that we bring on board. Some skills and traits are strongly preferred because they are necessary to meeting a client for the first time, like 7 to 10 years of progressive accounting experience and leadership skills. Other skills and traits are simply preferred because they can help in the role but are not essential to beginning your work with YPTC. Now, staff accountants are the other vital component of our accounting force. These colleagues facilitate the day-to-day transactional accounting responsibilities for each client. They do this by working very closely with the controller and providing accounting support to that controller in any way necessary. So as you can see, some required qualifications we look for in a staff accountant are 3 to 5 years of progressive accounting experience, which has been transactional, Excel experience, and a high degree of professionalism. Important, right? Other beneficial but less required qualifications that we look for are things like QuickBooks exposure and experience with audits. Now, I also want to talk about our support positions, like the position I have, because although a bulk of the professionals we hire are accountants, we routinely have support positions that need to be filled as well. For instance, right now we have a data visualization position. We just closed a human resource position, and we also have a training position that is available. So I would encourage you, even if you are not an accountant, to visit our website to see which positions we may have available at any given time. I would say one other qualification we look for in any candidate we talk to, whether it be a controller, staff accountant, or support person, is that they connect with our mission. It takes not only the right qualifications, but also the right motivations to fit in well with YPTC. And by being as selective as we are, we've developed this nationally recognized organization. So, talked a little bit about what we look for. Now let's talk about why professionals should be interested in YPTC. And for that, I have attached our value proposition for you to view. We've already touched on the first few values here, like how we are a best place to work. We have a mission-driven business, that we offer a culture of support. And because of this, we have been and continue to grow. We also offer competitive compensation, a full benefits package, and 401k plan with a match. Maybe more important is that we are committed to providing a work-life balance for each colleague. We have full and part-time positions, abundant paid vacation, holidays, and sick time. And coinciding with our vow of support, we also offer ample professional development opportunities. Now, as mentioned before, we offer a hybrid and remote work options and provide a company laptop with a technology stipend to help with the setup of your work environment. And we are also a COVID responsible workplace so that you can feel safe from wherever you perform your duties. Now, because of this value proposition, we experience very low turnover compared to the industry average. People tend to come to YPTC and they tend to stay. Now, our culture. I know I've mentioned it a few times already, but I cannot stress how important the preservation of culture is to YPTC. So in addition to the value proposition that we just went over, you can also expect to experience the following culture benefits of our award-winning organization. For instance, we foster a culture of trust, provide a culture of support, and encourage a culture of education. But YPTC also champions a culture of integrity, and we value a culture of equity. Because of this, we enjoy a culture of community, and we have truly built a culture on strong relationships. That is no more exemplified than our prime directive, which is to never leave a colleague blindsided. So this is a strong description, but this culture is committed to by a team that really walks the talk, and you truly experience this when you come on board. Now, to speak a little bit more to culture and to her experiences, I'm going to bring Susan Wagner back on set so she can tell you a little bit more about what she's experienced through YPTC, and some members of the Blue Star family might be able to relate to that.
Thanks so much, Melissa. When you talk about the value proposition of YPTC, and there's several cultures that you mentioned, and the ones that stand out for me from a military spouse perspective are the cultures of trust, support, community, and strong relationships, because I know I experienced all of those in my 16 years as a military spouse. I believe she mentioned that we're made up of 12 regions, 9 of which have physical offices, one of which is in Washington, D.C., where I know there is a significant military presence, usually and often. And we also have an Anywhere office for anyone not close to the physical offices. I work in the Anywhere office from Omaha, Nebraska. And our work model just fits me like a glove because I'm assigned to a few select nonprofits who I support from afar. I am really proud of our professionalism and quality of work, and I really love working with nonprofits. I know there's a culture of volunteering as a military spouse, so you know the fulfillment you get from supporting a worthwhile organization. And so at YPTC, you get that fulfillment as well as just a fantastic company. It is truly a best place to work.
Thank you, Susan. I'm so glad that I get to partner with her every day. So now, just to wrap up, we talk about next steps, right? We do have a rather extensive multi-step interview process that includes phone screens, virtual interviews, which may include basic assessments, background checks, and reference reviews. Our process is extensive because we want to make sure that all of your questions are answered and that you're going to be just as happy with YPTC as we will be with your work. So if any of the information that we just gave sounds appealing to you, please apply. All our positions, accounting related or not, can be found by logging onto our website and viewing the current job postings. And if you have any questions along the way, I am just a phone call or an email away, so feel free to reach out. And with that, I will stop sharing my screen and see if there are any questions we can answer.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much for this. It's such a great opportunity. Can I please apply to the Office of Nowhere or Anywhere? Is that what the location is? Anywhere? I think that's the first time I've heard an employer describe that, Office of Anywhere, which I love it. It's another way of saying remote, but without the intimidating, hurdle of the thinking about technology and all these isolation and all these things sometimes that remote work brings to you. So I love that. Thank you. And I do want to send a shout out right now to Diana Holguin, who's watching us over on one of the other communities. Doesn't show here in this platform, but I am so good at scouting all of our members who are watching. And Deirdre also, she's over on LinkedIn, celebrated your opportunities. I do have one question though, in general. What, for you mentioned, Susan, earlier during your brief connection with the military, and so military spouses quite often get very involved through volunteerism and quite often do a lot of fundraising and they deal directly with financials, with accounting and direct support for a lot of nonprofit groups, for a lot of DRC groups, ombudsman groups. I mean, PTO, I know PTO, we raised over $10,000, which is not a lot, during key events when I was PTO president. So how would those skills or experience could translate to roles within you guys?
Absolutely can transfer all that experience that you get from volunteering really brings a lot to your resume. Learning about accounting and the profit and loss statement, the income statement, and and the different ways that money is brought in, the fundraising or the direct contributions or things like that. There are definitely things that you're learning from those different positions.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I mean that's sometimes we don't think about some of those little minor tasks, even though they're not minor, through our volunteerism that we often forget because either in the past it used to be told that, oh, well, it's volunteer work, you didn't get paid for it, technically it doesn't work as work, doesn't count as work. Although most times, I don't know if you recall, Susan, during your active years as a military spouse, you do a lot of work through some of these volunteerisms and you spend a lot of hours volunteering doing things. So
yeah, I was a key volunteer during a deployment. So it really, you really have to be there for other people. And we're there with YPTC. We have a Teams chats going on. And we also have this internal board where we can post questions called Yammer. And your people are reaching out saying, how can I record this revenue, whatever that accounting question is. And then there'll be the whole 500 people who have an opportunity to chime in and help somebody with that specialization. So it really does. It reminds me of supporting each other, being there for each other. I lived on a military base and I just absolutely loved it. And I'm sorry, do you hear my UPS guy who continues to hit the doorbell? So I'm sorry.
That's okay. This is a real scenario right now. We're live, and so post your questions, but we'll come back. Don't worry, we'll come back and visit those. And don't worry, Susan. This is where the live action is happening right now. So this is great.
So I see Lacey stationed near Fort Hood. We have an office in Houston and an office in Dallas. And Melissa, is it true? Mostly, if people live in Texas area, they would be assigned to that office. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, they would most likely be assigned to that office, but that doesn't mean that they report to that office every week. Or more often than not, they're reporting to their clients, which would hopefully be local to them. But again, we support a work-life balance, so we are very reasonable about the amount of commuting and/or traveling that is expected. It's not guaranteed that every position is remote. I do want to clarify that, but much of the work that we do is remote. And if you're commuting, you're usually commuting to somebody who is much closer to you, and that is local. So
absolutely. And I do want to just real quick as we get ready to wrap up, just ask a question as far as in some places, I know that we have a lot of military spouses who are also finishing up or building their experience. Let's say they apply now and at the moment it's not a good fit. How often can they come back and revisit with you guys and reapply, or what's the process look like for that?
Oh my gosh, Laura, that is such a great, thank you for queuing me up like that. That's such a great question. So yes, they can continue to, we usually suggest, depending on what part of the process they have not moved past, we generally ask about 6 to 12 months before we will reconsider a candidate. Gives them a little bit extra time to get a little bit extra experience or that education piece, or maybe they just had to brush up on their Excel or accounting or what have you. So 6 to 12 months. But what I also will say is that if we have a great candidate that we just had a great conversation with, but just it wasn't the right place, the right time, then we have a future pipeline that we will continue to bring candidates into and revisit ourselves when we feel like the time may be a better fit for them. So it goes both ways, but we certainly have the avenues open to keep that conversation going.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I do want to put Susan back on the spotlight and her military connection, spouse connection, and ask her, are there any tips or tricks that you will share to for our military spouse community, our call to action as we wrap up here? Things that we should consider when either seeking opportunities in general or with you guys with YPTC.
Oh my God, there's a fire. Oh God. A car is on fire at my neighbor's house. I'm so sorry.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
It's okay, Susan.
Okay.
It's okay.
I can answer that question if you
Yeah,
want to.
go ahead. Yeah.
The fire truck is here. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what the question was.
That's okay, Susan. No, no worries, no worries. We'll
Keep it
definitely
in
just keep up and share BTC for you, everyone who's watching. And this is live, so no apologies at all, Susan. It all happens. And so we'll lead and share everyone over to go over to your website and continue to help you guys build stronger nonprofits to make sure that everybody is connecting with future job opportunities. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry that
Yes.
of the
It's
thank
Please
you.
okay.
follow up if interested. I can take it. Susan, you go do whatever you need to do,
Yeah,
but
you
I
go
can
take care of
certainly
your neighbor.
please
We got
follow
to take care of our neighbor. So go, Suzanne, take care of it. Thank you.
up.